Have you ever heard a child saying, I love my mom, but there is always this but that comes in between when a child is saying, I love my mom, but there is always a but. And that but is that strain that is happening to a lot of us mothers that we don't actually know. These are mistakes we make, these are things we do that is straining our relationship with our teenagers. A lot of us, about 90% of us as parents, we are witnessing this thing, especially those of us that have teenager children that were very lovely when they were growing up. They cannot do without you. They've always been there before they go to school. You hear, give me a peck, mommy, come, let me give you a peck. When they come back, they run and embrace you. And as time goes on, you find out that now they are no longer interested in those things, but they still tell you that, mommy, you know I love you. Mommy, you know you are the best. Mommy, you know I cannot do without you. But you keep hearing that, but that but is one thing I've come to address today. You see, as a mother, there are some things we do that is putting strains between us and our children, especially our teenagers. And this thing is really affecting us. A lot of us, it has become a problem, and we don't really know how to remediate this problem. Why some of us, we just feel, well, they are growing up, so maybe they are changing. It might not really be that because they are growing up, they are changing. It might be because of a problem that you are the one causing and you don't actually know. Most times, you don't even want to even wait to even let them hear. That's why you hear a child, you say, mommy, you are the best, I love you, but you don't listen to me. This brings me to my first mistake we make as a parent, why we don't, especially we mothers, that we are making and is training us. A lot of us don't listen to our teenagers. You see, most time we complain and complain and complain, and sometimes we don't even give them room for them to express their own self. You keep saying you do this, you don't do this, you yell, and so on and so forth. And yes, the child is just telling you, mommy, can I express myself? Can I tell you? And the next thing you will hear as a mother, go away, what have you got to say? You actually did this, you did this, and you did this. And this is one thing that is causing strains between you and that your teenagers. And the funny part, it happens between sons and mothers and fathers and daughters. You find out that this relationship, I don't always know, but you find out that the boys are the one always complaining that, mommy, you don't listen, mommy, you are not like this, mommy, you are not supposed to do it like this. And we feel that, oh, they don't actually have this right. And if you are doing this as a mother, it is time for you to start putting a stop to it, because it's straining your relationship with that your beautiful son and you don't actually know it. Yes, let me give you an example where your child did something wrong and you've yelled and you are complaining. He's trying to say, mommy, mommy, you are shutting the child down. When you say, mommy, you are shutting, please, you have to go back, because that time the child might have something important to tell you, but you are shutting the child down. This happens to a lot of us parents, especially when we are angry or we are overwhelmed. Anything that happens at that time, we are always quick to judge without listening. And this is something that causes distance between you and your teenagers, because they feel they need to be heard. And really, they need to be heard. That is why, if you are doing this, you have to stop it. Please give them a chance to hear their mind, give them a chance to talk, give them a chance so that they will be able to express themselves. With this, you are winning the world towards them, and you are also having that your loving son. And you keep hearing, although mommy, you are this, but I still love you. I still love you, you are the best. And when a child now say, my mom listens to me, it becomes a plus for you as a mother, because the child will tell you, no matter what, my mom will listen, and she will first of all hear my parts before she pass this judgment. This should be one of the things you should cultivate. Sometimes we know it's overwhelming, it's too much problem listening to them with cook up lies and all, but with that, you already know how to go about the case. Another important mistake we make as parents is trying to compare our children. Yes, this is at least 80% of us, if not 90% of us parents, does this. We compare our children. Yes, you keep hearing, didn't you see your cousin, the way he behaved? Are you not seeing your sister acting like this? Why are you behaving like this? Meanwhile, you've forgotten that these children are different people, persons entirely, different personality, different upbringing, different everything about their life. And yet you see us trying to compare. Yes, we do that a lot as mothers. It is very common with us. And me, you and I watching this video knows that it is common. We compare a lot, especially when the child is not actually doing well. The next thing you start seeing us talking about, you don't do well. You should see so and so person. See, our neighbor's child is making their parents proud. Why are you always bringing disgrace? You are not this, you are not that. And this is something that demoralizes the children. Yes, a lot of us do that, especially when we notice that the changes we are trying to imbibe in that child is not what we are actually seeing. Then the next minute you see us, start comparing in school. Why are you dull? Your classmates are this. Your friends parents came to the house and explained how good you are, how good their son is. Why is yours different? And this is something that we keep doing. Yes, like I said, a lot of us, we handle that, and this is something that is bad. Instead of keep complaining, why not celebrate every little wins? Yes, anytime the child does good, you praise. Then when the child does bad or you are not comfortable, you sit the child down and tell him or her the reason why he or she should not do this, or why you are angry at this, instead of yelling or start comparing. With this, you now notice that your child will start improving. You don't need to compare seriously, because every child is unique in his or her own ways. So there are some things those children might be doing and your child is doing better than them. Because it's not showing, or because you are not measuring it, does not mean that that child does not have an atom of good in him or her. So whenever the child does anything good, please try as much as possible to celebrate that child's win. Celebrate, and even when the child does wrong, don't yell. Bring the child to a particular place. Tell the child the reason why he or she should change, and see how that child starts behaving. And whenever you are prompt to start comparing, please remember that every child is unique in its or her own ways, and no two child is the same. So why should you compare? That child might be facing challenges secretly that you don't even know, and you just be the one bombarding. And let me tell you something as parents. You see those people that come to tell you the good of their children. When you go, is the more you see, the more you look, the less you see. That is what you'll be seeing, because a lot of them have also the negative aspect about them. But you see, because their parents are celebrating their little win, that is what you were made to see, and what you were made to know. What of the other ones that were swept under the carpet? You were not actually there to know about it. So that is why it is very wrong for you to start comparing your child with your neighbor, with the cousin and all, because it is what they want you to know. It is what they want you to hear. That was what was brought before you. The others is a no. And not every child has his or her own unique way. So celebrate your child's little win and see your child behaving well. The last thing you see us as parents we do when it comes to parenting, especially we mothers, is trying to parent your child the way you were parented. You see, about 95% of us have this kind of attitude. And this, I will divide it into the positive way and the negative way. Let me explain. You see, as a parent, when your parents parent you very well, you tend to want to parent your children in that direction. Am I actually right? Yes, I'm actually right. You find out because you turn out good, you find out that your characters were being praised, you find out that the effect of your influence of your parents on you was something that everybody was envious. Now you have started having children, your things are growing, you want to imbibe that same way you were taught into the child. Meanwhile, you've forgotten that this you and that your child are two different entities, and that will start bringing strains. Yes, because when you were growing up, you were always grounded, you were not allowed to visit friends. Now, you find that the impact was actually good for you. Now you start having your own children, And the next thing you want to do is start telling them you can't visit friends, you can't have friends, you can't do this, you can't do that. Meanwhile, that child might just want something different entirely. This is one thing that a lot of us parents are practicing, and it is no good. Then the second aspect is this. Yes, when we experience parenting in a negative way, let's assume the parents were never there to bring you up in the way you wanted, or just like my second opinion, where it is always complaining and it's always nagging, and it has always been comparing you with your neighbors, comparing you with your cousin. And now you have grown up, you've gotten married, and you start having children, and your children are already teenagers. And the next thing you want to do, you want to start parenting your children in a different dimension. And this is something that you don't even know whether it will be beneficial for the child. Let's assume while you were growing up, there was no parental control. And this time around, because of there was no parental control, it really affected you greatly. And now you've decided to say, if you have a child, the next thing you must do, they must have a parental control. Now you are now being strict in everything they do. Because of the way you were parented, you decide to carry that same method into parenting. It doesn't work because everybody is unique in their own way. So why not look at a different method? Why not look at a different approach towards it and stop doing that? That is where you start seeing the children saying, Mommy, you are not supposed to do this. Mommy, you are doing this. But to them, you are the one actually, you are just trying to make them reason with you, to make them see reasons why they should act like this. But it's not actually favoring them. Why not look at it and stop using your own parent experience to start putting your children into what I don't even know how I'm going to call it, into something strange. Because that is when you see, because you experience beating, hitting while you were growing up, and the next thing now, you feel that with hitting can correct a child. Who said? That child might just needed you to just sit him or her down and just say, this is what I want, and please do it. And that is what the child might actually need, instead of you hitting the child. You see the reason why I'm saying that a lot of us, we do this, and because it is from our own experience, it is what we've experienced, and we feel it is either good or bad, and decide to make changes while we are parenting our own children. And I pray this will help you as a parent to know that your children doesn't actually need a perfect parent. All they need is a present parent, and not the one that compels, yell, and not the ones that does, because of the way she was brought up, decide to come and bring up her own children. This will totally cause a strain between you and your teenagers. I hope I've been able to talk to a parent today. And please, if I do, drop a comment, like, and also please share this video. Have a nice day.